Mr. Speaker, Manitoba has many who live in extreme poverty. This is manifest in the highest food bank use in Canada, in high numbers of children being taken into child and family service care, and in high levels of crime. And yet this NDP government refuses to raise shelter rates. The NDP have raised the PST, and now lower-income Manitobans have to pay the province even more tax. I ask the Premier, will the government provide a PST rebate for those who are lower income, just as the federal government provides a GST rebate for low-income earners in society?
Thank the member from River Heights for the question, because unlike the HST, which the Leader of the Opposition supports and all members of the opposite benches support, we have, I know, it's tough for them. It's tough for them. It's tough for them, Mr. Speaker. It's tough for them, Mr. Speaker. They like to make accusations, but when the truth is pointed out about their position, they have a real tough time with it. Under the provincial sales tax, we carve out the necessities of life, Mr. Speaker. Food is not taxed like it is under the HST. Clothing for children is not taxed like the members opposite taxed it. Clothing and essentials for children, for babies, are being carved out and are not taxed like the members opposite taxed when they were in office, Mr. Speaker. Books are not taxed like the members opposite wish to tax. We have carved out the essentials for people to live in Manitoba, and we will continue to do so.
Mr. Speaker, under this Premier, a large number of new services of all sorts are being taxed under the PST, just like under the GST. You're aligning the two taxes. Why can't the Premier align the PST with the GST and provide for those on low income a rebate? I mean, it makes logical sense, and the Premier has already done a lot of extra taxes on services. Why doesn't the Premier align the PST with the GST in terms of the rebate?
If the member is saying he endorses a harmonized sales tax, let him be clear about that. Rebate or not, let him be clear about that. We know he had supported that after saying he wouldn't at the federal level as well, just like the members opposite. It's the HST is a conservative, liberal way of taxing people, Mr. Speaker. On this side of the House, we have carved people out from paying taxes on the necessities of life, Mr. Speaker. In addition, we have a personal tax credit, which go to the lowest income Manitobans. We also have a shelter benefit that we've increased by $6 million this year, Mr. Speaker. And we have committed to another 500 social housing units on top of the 1,500 that we started to build and we're ahead of schedule on. And we have a special targeted benefit for people with mental health issues so that they can get stable housing first in Manitoba. Mr. Speaker, we will do everything we can to help those that have the least.
Order, please. First Minister's time has expired.
Mr. Speaker, if the Premier wants to write Liberal policy, he should become a Liberal member. We have consulted. We have consulted.
They just have supporters voting for leader, right?
We have consulted grassroots Liberals across the province, and they have said no to an HST. This is not Liberal policy, and the Premier shouldn't be trying to make Liberal policy. The Premier should be addressing the real need. He should be raising shelter rates. 140 organizations in Manitoba, led by Make Poverty History, have argued, have said that this makes sense to raise shelter rates. Sid Frankel has said the policy of this government makes no sense. Why is the Premier not raising shelter rates?
Remember, he says if I wish to join and make Liberal policy, I should join his party. In turn, I'd say if he wants to make policy on this side of the House, we would welcome him in the caucus, Mr. Speaker, if he wants to join this side of the House. The reality is this, Mr. Speaker. The reality is this. When it comes to reducing poverty, we're the only political party in this House that believes you should raise the minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, and we've done that again this year. Members of the Liberal Party, members of the Conservative Party are 100% opposed to raising the minimum wage. They have put that on the record. Mr. Speaker, we have raised shelter benefits. We have designed shelter benefits. We added back The National Child Benefit, $48 million, $500 for a single lone parent family in Manitoba. The members of the Conservative Party clawed that out of the hands of low-income single parents in Manitoba.
Order, please.
We have put it
First
back.
Minister's time has expired.